Hi. So, how do we start talking about the UAP subject? I mean, I have thoughts. I feel like the last couple of years have been, it's been a lot. There's been a lot of information that's come out. I feel like I haven't seen as much just general conversation this and about what this means, right? Like this isn't just like a US problem. It's not just, a generational problem. This is a world problem. This is a human problem, something that we have to kind of start to think about and try to get our heads wrapped around. I think I want this channel to kind of be, I guess, where we can talk about this. I honestly, I really don't have anyone in my life that I can have a good conversation about this with. I mean, I think I have like a cousin or two, I think that might at least have some kind of interest in it. I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know when my interest in even just like aliens, because that's what it was when it started. I don't know what caused that. I don't know where that came from. I just remember, like, I have distinct memories of like it kind of being this joke that I liked aliens, or like I thought like I had the interest of aliens or whatever. I had a keychain when I was younger. I remember having this like a weird alien keychain, like that was like glittery and like throwing the peace sign or something, which I was so random. And I remember my mother and my sister went up to Vermont. So I live in Connecticut, and my mother and my sister had gone up to Vermont when my sister was looking at colleges. This was probably like late 90s. And they had gone to Vermont Teddy Bear Company, and had the bear that they had selected to get for me was the alien bear, which if I can find a picture of it, I'll put it right here. Basically had this like bear face that like, it was like a little like mask almost, that like the face came off, and like underneath it was like an alien in a bear suit. It was really cute. I don't have it anymore. I did end up getting rid of it a couple years ago, purging stuff, moving, all of that. I mean, I don't honestly know where this came from. So I think the reason why I really bring that up. So watching the Jake Barber interview, like I don't know if you've seen it. I would suggest you go and watch that. It's incredibly interesting. News Nation just released the full interview, which I know it's really long. I want to say it's like almost 3 hours long. But I mean, the initial release that they did last week, it wasn't the full interview. It was like just, specific sections of it, which is interesting. I think there was still a lot of information, but I think the full interview has a lot more context and really kind of gives a lot more information. It just kind of fucked me up. I'm the type of person, like, I never knew what I wanted to do when I was younger. I didn't. Like, I think maybe I wanted to be like an actress or something, or like a singer or whatever. I mean, I don't fucking know. I don't remember. But like, I didn't know, like beyond that, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just didn't. I mean, I chose to not go to college because I didn't want to just put myself into debt for literally no reason, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And like, and I see this interview and I'm like, had I even known, like, the whole psionics thing is incredibly, like, I find that incredibly interesting. Had I known about that 20 years ago, like, my life could have been so different. I'm actually angry about it. Like, the fact that they've literally withheld this information. Like, I think I'm a reasonably intelligent person. Like, I'm not a very well educated person, and I absorb information. I try my best to educate myself when I can. I do have a short attention span, so sometimes, if it doesn't grab my attention, I will lose focus, and then it will hard for me to retain it. But maybe that's just me. I mean, I also learn a lot through conversation. Like, for me, I'm very much a people person. I like having conversations. So part of, I think, what I think might even be a good outlet for this channel is I want to know what are other people thinking on this. Like, I'm just a normal person. Like, I'm a single mother. I'm just living my life going, what the hell is going on? Like, I've never been a religious person. Both sides of my family are Catholic, but my parents they never forced us to go to church. My parents weren't overly religious. I mean, we had aunts and uncles aunts specifically, that if we spent the night at their house on a Saturday, we knew we were going to church on Sunday. That was just typical. Growing up, my parents, they never forced us to go. Like, if we had asked to go, they would have brought us, but it wasn't like they weren't pushing it on us. Both sides were Catholic. I mean, they are Catholic, I guess, technically, but my father's family was a lot more devout. Like, a lot of them, like my grandfather I think he was a Eucharistic minister, and I know, and a lot of them are more practicing, and I think one of my aunts is now a born again. which is fine. Like, do what you're going to do. Personally, I could never buy into it. Like, I was very much the type of person, like the type of child that I had questions. So we're sitting in mass and I'm like, and I want to ask questions. What are we talking about here? And, of course it's, the expectation is that you are quiet and paying attention, right? I wasn't that child. I had a hard time doing that. My mother's family, my grandmother had chosen to stop taking them to church when my mother was younger. So my mother is number 5 out of 6 kids. My grandfather was a truck driver, so he was gone a lot. So my grandmother on Sundays would take the 6 children, pack them up into the car, and then bring them to church. And then I guess at some point the church basically came to them and said that they weren't providing enough, like they weren't donating enough of their funds or their income to the church. And my grandmother basically said, well, screw you too, and then just stopped going, which is definitely appropriate for her. And I would have done the same. But needless to say, the point that I was trying to make is, so when I moved to Colorado, I mean, I was never an overly religious person. I consider myself to be a spiritual person. Like, I definitely think there's more to life than just the physical form that we are in. And I think that we as humans are significantly more connected than even we understand. I mean, it really, not even us humans, but like living creatures in general. Life, the consciousness of life. But when I moved, I didn't really have a set like religion or anything. Where I was in Littleton, I guess I don't know if it's still technically considered part of the Bible Belt. I would have considered it that. There's a good variety within the religions that were practiced, at least to an extent. While I was living there, I think I had done a Mormon seminary. I went to a Hare Krishna temple in Denver for a little while with a good friend of mine. Lutheran services and youth groups and other Christian denominations as well. I mean, I did that. I tried. I was like, I felt like I was like, well, what am I missing? What am I missing that all of these people seem to think is so important? And I didn't see it. I didn't. Like, I'm not, like, I consider myself to be a good person. I do my best to be good to everyone. I don't judge people. I do what I can to help. If somebody needs something and if it's something that I know that I can provide, I'm more than happy to do that. But I don't know. I just think the Jake Barber stuff, if you haven't seen it, you probably are wondering what the heck I'm even talking about and why I'm like kind of going on this rant. I mean, you can look at like Diana Pasulka's work. I've been seeing a lot of her interviews. I'll link her interviews down below, and I'll actually link the full Jake Barber interview down below because it's so interesting. And I think I think that there is a bigger paradigm shift coming than I think some people are going to be ready for. And that's okay. I mean, I think that's to be expected, but I just don't know. Okay, this is a little bit of a rant, but I'm just trying to get my thoughts together. I guess let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious to see who else watched the interview. What were your thoughts? What were your takeaways from it? I think at some point, like my email is in the description as well. You can shoot me an email too. I don't know if it would make sense to start doing like conversations maybe. Like, is anyone interested in like doing, like, we could just do like a Google Meet or something, like some kind of just like web call or even a live stream and just have a conversation, because I'm curious. I want to know what other people are thinking and the other people that are following this. So I don't know, I guess leave me a comment, subscribe if you think this is an interesting topic and you want to, engage in conversation about this. I'm curious. I think that the world is changing faster than we're ready for. But we don't have a choice, and I think we need to start preparing regardless. All right. Well, subscribe, like, comment, and send me an email. Happy to hear from you. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.